I've got sober and haven't enjoyed sex since. I've had quite a number of clients who reported this, and mind you, this ranges from hard drug withdrawal to alcohol abstinence after moderate use, and yes, women mention this as an issue too in my somatic sex coaching practice. While substance-linked sex is more prevalent among gay and bisexual men, it also affects heterosexual populations, especially in the UK. In fact, according to The Guardian, cannabis was the only drug in which the UK did not top the US and other countries, with 49% of people from the States combining it with sex, compared with 36% in the UK. According to a UCL study, alcohol, cannabis, MDMA and cocaine are the drugs most commonly combined with sex. Legality of cannabis products is of course an issue in the UK, while in many states in the US and in Canada, cannabis can be consumed legally following rules and regulations. While the advantage of cannabis for sex is the effect of relaxation, fun and mild euphoria, it can have paradoxical effects on others and make them paranoid and angry, which can result in bizarre lovemaking sessions or get together where sex was planned and then did not happen. A link between regular cannabis use and erectile issues are being discussed, but I haven't heard it mentioned as an issue in my sex coaching practice. Maybe it's just a matter of not overdoing it. If you are in a country where cannabis or at least CBD products are legal, it can also really help your relationship, particularly in terms of managing chronic pain and anxiety, which can take a toll on being with your partner. Are you getting clean after hard drugs, alcoholism and daily party drug use and don't enjoy sex anymore? This really constitutes a change of life in all areas and is of course really hard, particularly in terms of staying off these drugs for good. Not everyone gets addicted easily, so please don't judge anybody here. I've heard of lovers who found each other as recovering addicts, got sober, and then one of them relapsed when the relationship was going through a rough patch. Life and sex may appear a bit grey and flat at first, but please be aware that this is temporary and embark on life without substance abuse. You will most probably not find the same highs in sex when being sober, at least initially, but you may find that you are more discerning in terms of casual sex and also value emotional connection more. Sex will never be quite the same again, but you can go back to the basics and recover your senses. You may find that you notice more, and while the highs may be less pronounced, your sex life and relationships may get richer and more nuanced. You may also need to learn to sit with constricting emotions and develop tolerance for anxiety. After a while, you may find natural highs and be amazed. I would say that the UK is not a very sex-positive country, and a greater number of young people seem to resort to alcohol to help them overcome inhibition or feel sexual in the first place. Virginity sometimes appears like a blemish, something to be ashamed of and to be gotten rid of as soon as possible. I would think that the quality of the sex education may be partly to blame here. Teens need to learn to act on their own behalf and physical well-being, set boundaries and not be afraid to say no and not give in to peer pressure. Alcohol overrides your personal boundaries, and when on a date which is not going well, it can mean that the couple progress to intimacy without really being into each other. Sex can also be sought after because touch needs are not met. Men can resort to alcohol to give them courage to approach women and overcome performance anxiety. Let's face it, you may very often not choose to have sex with your date if it wasn't for alcohol. Alcohol is being used precisely for numbing our senses and making us jump into action sexually when we are just not ready for it. Alcohol can override all of these inhibitions. Being more process and less goal-oriented, learning to listen to your body signals and developing awareness for your date's body communication, and knowing that you can step back at any time if things are getting too fast and don't seem congruent anymore, there's actually more excitement in all of this. While you have less sex, the sex you do have will be much more enjoyable and memorable. Last but not least, 2 fun explorations by yourself and with your partner. Here's one for yourself. With almost all dogs being on a leash these days, it's more difficult to witness how beautifully and shamelessly male ones try to hump everything that moves. Failing a bitch in heat present nearby. Have you got privacy? Feel free to lower the blinds and lock the doors. I invite you now to take your tie off and change into clothes you can move in to step into your naughty dog nature. Soft furnishing like armchairs or sofas will do well for this, or your bed with pillows. If you can, help yourself with putting music like heavy metal on. Then start treating your pillow or your armrest just like a horny dog would hump it. Stick with it for about 10 to 15 minutes if physically feasible, then lie down on your bed, catch your breath and notice how your body feels. Cup your lower belly or genitals and your chest and breathe into the connection. This is a great chain buster, and once you've done it in privacy, you may also find it easier to be sexually expressive with your partner, even if not in the same way. There is a similar partner exercise. Lie on your bed in comfortable clothes together and imagine that you're making love passionately with each other with over-the-top expressive moves. Set a timer, 5 minutes is perfect. Welcome to your journey of conscious sex with all your senses and your heart and without drugs.